pretended he had no idea about my night with his boss. 1 week later, he took brutal payback. Hey Reddit, I used to be a huge fan of this app years ago, but it's been a while since I've actually been on here. I made a very huge mistake yesterday and the guilt has been eating into me. I messed around with my husband's boss and I do not know how to tell my husband or if I should even tell him. I'm a little scared, to be honest. I feel like my husband might never forgive me again. It was just a mistake, and if I could honestly turn back the hands of the clock, I would. I would never betray my husband. A little bit of backstory on us. My name is Olivia, and my husband's name is Nathan. Nathan and I met in high school, and we immediately developed a relationship. We liked each other, and we matched quite well. It was great, really. We started dating all the way up into college and even past our graduation, but we only got married a few months ago. Not because of anything, but because we had been saving money for our marriage as we wanted it to be great. That was why it took so long to get married. I am 27 years old and my husband Nathan is 26. We both work, but Nathan earns way more than I do. As a result of that, we adjust the bills, payments, and chores to fit that. I cover 30% of the bills and Nathan covers 70%. But that also means that I cover about 60% of the chores, while Nathan covers the remaining 40%. It is an arrangement that has worked for us for a very long time, as we have been living together for years. Now things were really great between us, apart from our intimacy. We had been having a bit of a dry spell for several reasons. First of all, Nathan was very busy because of his job. He tried, honestly, but the workload and the pressure of saving for a house weighed heavily on him. It was like he was carrying the weight of our future on his shoulders. Another reason was my weight. I am no fool, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I knew I was overweight. I had gone through a really dark phase in my life after my dad died. We had been very close, and the loss hit me badly. I started spiraling, lost my job, and turned to food as my escape. Thankfully, Nathan stayed by me despite it all, and never once did he complain. He helped me get into therapy, and even though it took me a while to finally start helping myself, he was with me throughout it all. I'm still overweight, but I'm trying my best to help myself. Nathan had been the one covering all the bills and house chores, so the moment I got a job, I started contributing the 30%. I do feel that ever since then, our intimacy has dwindled down so much. I feel like he does not find me attractive anymore because of my weight. Gaining weight is pretty easy, but losing weight is the hard work. Anytime I try to engage him in intimacy, he is either too tired or not in the mood. It's not just about physical attraction, it's about feeling desirable and wanted. I miss that connection we used to have, where we could just be ourselves and enjoy each other's company without these barriers. Nathan's busyness also became a source of resentment for me. It felt like he was always occupied with work or some project, and that left little time for us to connect intimately. I started to feel neglected and unimportant, like I was second to everything else in his life. Adding to my frustration was the fact that Nathan remained in great shape while I struggled with my weight. He hadn't let himself go like me. He knew how to control his portions and stick to a healthy diet. That was something I found myself resenting about him. It was a constant reminder of my own struggles and failures in managing my weight. Nathan would often try to compliment me, telling me how beautiful I was and how much he loved me just the way I was. While I appreciated his words, they didn't resonate with me because I didn't feel beautiful in my own skin. I struggled to accept my body and how it had changed over the years. I even decided to join the gym because I hoped it would help me shed some weight and boost my confidence. However, gymming wasn't as easy as people made it seem. It was a constant battle with myself. I had to force myself to push through workouts and try to stay motivated. And despite all these months of effort, the scale barely budged, and I felt so discouraged. I knew it wasn't just the gym's fault. It was also my own struggle with controlling what I ate. I tried to be mindful of my portions and make healthier choices, but it was challenging. Food had been my comfort during tough times, and breaking those habits was a real struggle. The combination of Nathan's busyness, his fit physique, and my own weight issues created this huge rift between us. I felt like I couldn't measure up to his standards, and it weighed heavily on our relationship. Nathan noticed how much I hated my body, especially when it came to controlling what I ate. When we ate together, he gently nudged me to take smaller portions, saying my body would adapt over time. It was kind of him, but I resented it. I knew deep down that Nathan was only trying to help me and support me in achieving my goals, but I couldn't help but resent him for it. It felt like he was policing my food intake, and it made me feel inadequate and frustrated. I wanted to be able to make these choices for myself, without someone constantly monitoring what I ate. I knew he did it out of concern, but still it felt like he was micromanaging my meals. At times I would push back against his suggestions, insisting that I knew what was best for me. Of course, this only worsened the rift between us, even though I knew he meant well. Things continued in this strained manner for a while. When Nathan had some free time and suggested a date night or watching a movie together, I often shut down the idea. I couldn't shake the feeling that he was only doing it out of courtesy, not genuine desire. Even when he invited me to join him at the gym, I would get defensive and angry. It felt like he was indirectly calling me fat, and that hurt. During a rough patch, I got super paranoid and started thinking Nathan might be cheating, even though he never showed any signs. I snooped through his phone, laptop, and even his emails, and even got a friend to spy on him at work, but found nothing. It was just my anxiety running wild, making me doubt everything. I knew Nathan wasn't the cheating type too. It was just my mind playing tricks on me. During that time, Nathan mentioned there would be a work party or dinner. At first I said no because I wasn't feeling up to it. Nathan just went along with it, which weirdly made me mad. It was like he was okay with me not going because he thought I'd make him look bad. Maybe he thought I was too fat and that I'd embarrass him there. So I changed my mind and said I'd go. Nathan didn't argue, which surprised me. On the day of the party, I put on my outfit, Nathan did too, and off we went. Surprisingly, I had a blast. I half expected judgmental looks or snide comments about my weight, but everyone treated me normally. It was a breath of fresh air. I indulged a bit, enjoying the food and drinks. As the night wound down, Nathan went to chat with his friends for a bit before we left. That's when his boss came over. I knew of Nathan's boss, but hadn't interacted much with him. He was friendly, and his charm drew me in. He suggested we dance, and though I hesitated, I agreed. The dancing was harmless, or so I thought. I noticed Nathan turned to glance at us briefly, and he frowned like he wasn't glad I was dancing with his boss, but I brushed it off as nothing. As we danced, his boss's compliments boosted my confidence. He was funny and charming, and he made me forget my insecurities for a while. When the dance ended, he surprised me by giving me his personal card. He told me to text him. I didn't expect it, but I took it because I felt flattered. As we left the party, I resolved to toss the card in the car and forget about it. I figured I'd mention it to Nathan casually, just to be transparent. When Nathan joined me after saying his goodbyes, I asked him about his reaction to seeing me dance with his boss. He brushed it off and said his boss was an odd and flirtatious person, nothing more. Once we reached home, I found myself holding onto the card instead of discarding it as planned. I didn't even tell Nathan like I had initially planned to. The idea of contacting Nathan's boss was on my mind, and despite telling myself I would throw it away, curiosity got the better of me. I thought about it for hours, even after Nathan and I had gone to bed. Eventually, I couldn't resist the urge and sent a quick message to his boss. I waited for a few minutes, but I didn't get a reply, so I went to bed. The next morning, I woke up to a text from Nathan's boss. It was a simple message, but that was what sparked a flurry of texts between us. He made me feel wanted in a way I hadn't felt in a long time. His compliments about my appearance, including my weight, struck a chord with my insecurities. Soon I was up to him about my struggles and doubts, and he always responded with understanding and reassurance. We started talking even more, and we were even outright flirting with each other. Nathan started noticing that I was spending more time on my phone than usual, and he asked about it. I brushed him off, of course, and lied that I was busy because I had just recently gotten into content creation. Surprisingly, Nathan accepted my excuse without much further questioning, although it was obvious he was very curious about it. Nathan's boss seemed to understand me in a way Nathan hadn't in a long time. I loved his attention and validation. After a few days of our crazy flirting and chatting, Justin, as I'll call Nathan's boss to protect his privacy, suggested meeting up for coffee. I instantly agreed without even any hesitation or even thinking about it. It had been ages since I had a proper outing. While I still kept in touch with friends, I had distanced myself from social gatherings, especially after my weight gain. I often rejected invitations to go out, even when they included both Nathan and me. I felt very self-conscious and ashamed of my appearance. Our coffee date was very pleasant and I enjoyed it a lot. Justin was charming and easy to talk to, and after we finished our drinks, he casually suggested we head back to his apartment. Initially, I was hesitant, but convinced myself that it was harmless. I reasoned that we would just watch a movie or two, and I would maintain a clear boundary. But obviously, that's not what happened. I ended up crossing lines I never thought I would. We headed back to his apartment, and I noticed that it was a bit dirty, but otherwise comfortable. He assured me that he hadn't had time to clean, that he wasn't married yet, and that he didn't have a partner, so it was just him. We chatted for a while and started watching a movie, but before I knew it, one thing led to another, and we were now sitting very close to each other. His hands started creeping up my thighs, and I honestly couldn't control myself. We started making out, and then we moved to his bedroom, where we then proceeded to have sex repeatedly. After we hooked up, I felt like a complete idiot. Justin's attitude changed instantly. He was all friendly and charming before. It was as if a switch had just flipped in Justin's head. He suddenly told me I needed to get up and leave because his roommate would arrive soon. I was surprised because he had initially told me that he lived alone, and he didn't even have a girlfriend or anybody. And now all of a sudden he had a roommate. I asked him about it, and he said he must have made a mistake. I quickly got dressed. I was now feeling regret creeping in. Justin didn't even bother walking me out. He just rushed me to leave. I had to call an Uber because my car was still at home with some issues Nathan promised to fix in the evening. While sitting in that Uber, all I could think about was how dumb I was to get myself into that situation. When I got home, Nathan still wasn't back, which was a relief in a way. I took a quick shower, changed into comfy clothes, and made myself something to eat. I just could not shake off the feeling of regret and guilt that was weighing me down. I decided to shoot Justin a text, telling him off for how he treated me. I said he shouldn't have rushed me out and been so rude. I waited for a reply, but nada. It was like a slap in my face. By the time Nathan returned home, I had gone through a roller coaster of thoughts and feelings. It hit me hard that I wanted to save my marriage, to fix the mess I'd created. I knew confessing to Nathan might destroy everything, but I also couldn't bear the weight of this secret eating away at me. I took a step forward by cooking dinner for us. I was really hoping to bridge the gap I'd created. I apologized sincerely, and to my surprise and relief, Nathan appreciated my effort and accepted my apology. That happened yesterday. I'm currently on my lunch break and writing this because I haven't really been able to concentrate. I don't know what to do. I feel like if I do not tell Nathan, guilt will continue to eat at me, but I also cannot tell him because I do not want him to dump me. As for Justin, he has blocked me. He didn't reply to my text last night, and when I checked this morning, it was pretty obvious that he had blocked me, so there's that. I would really appreciate any help or advice on how to go about fixing this. Update. Hey Reddit, wow, my post has blown up way more than I ever anticipated. It's been 2 days since I posted, and the response has been overwhelming. I've tried my best to read through all the comments, both positive and negative. I've also received a flood of DMs, some supportive and others not so much. I want to address the negativity first. I understand that some people think I'm delusional or stupid for sharing my story after cheating on my husband. I just needed a place to rant and clear my head, hence why I posted. Some people also said this had to be rage bait because I sounded so delusional. Let me be clear, this is my reality right now, and I'm not here to provoke or incite rage. I appreciate the constructive criticism and the kind words equally. The majority of comments advise me to own up and tell my husband about what happened. While I understand where that advice is coming from, after much reflection and even consulting my elder sister, I've decided against it. My sister suggested that it might be best to move forward without divulging this to my husband, especially since Justin has cut off all contact with me by blocking me. I've taken her advice to heart, and I'll be focusing my energy on rebuilding my marriage and moving forward. Thank you all for your time and insights. I may not update again unless something significant occurs. For now, I'll be putting my efforts into repairing the damage I've caused in my marriage and looking towards a better future for me and my husband. Take care, everyone. Update. Hey everyone, I wanted to share a little update on what's been happening since my last post. I've been putting a lot of effort into rebuilding my relationship with my husband. One of the things I've been focusing on is creating more quality time together. I've been trying to get him to go out on date nights with me, and thankfully he's been receptive to the idea. We've had some really nice moments reconnecting and enjoying each other's company. Another area I've been working on is taking charge of household responsibilities. I've completely taken over the chores, and honestly, I don't even want my husband to help out anymore. It's my way of showing him that I'm committed to making things right and easing some of the burdens he's been carrying. On a personal level, I've been hitting the gym more regularly. It's been a really tough journey, and I still struggle with controlling my portions and maintaining consistency, but I'm determined to achieve my fitness goals. I dream of having a body that I feel confident and comfortable in, and I'm taking steps every day to get there. Now I want to address something that's been bothering me. I've been receiving some really hurtful messages from people calling me names and making derogatory comments about my weight. Some people have been calling me fat cow, and that fat people are the worst kind of people. To those individuals, I want to say this: your words are cruel and unnecessary. Fat shaming has no place here or anywhere else. We're all on our own journeys, and kindness and understanding should always be our default mode. If you can't offer that, then please keep your negativity to yourself. I appreciate the support and encouragement from those who have been kind and understanding throughout this process. It means a lot to me, honestly. Update. Hey everyone, I'm back with another update on what's been happening in my life. I know I said my last update might be the final one, but many of you have expressed interest in hearing more about my journey, so here I am. A lot of you all said my marriage was a ticking time bomb, but joke's on you all, it's solid. It's been about 5 days since everything went down, like the whole cheating and stuff, so obviously there haven't really been any significant developments. But my husband and I have been having conversations about starting a family and the possibility of me becoming a stay-at-home mom. This is something we've both been considering for a while, and now feels like the right time to take that step. As for my job, well, let's just say my boss hasn't always been the most supportive or understanding person. I've decided to leave and will be giving my notice soon. I'll probably give just a week's notice since my boss doesn't really deserve a formal 2-week notice. It's a job I've come to despise, and I'm looking forward to leaving it behind. Everything seems a bit all rushed and quick, but it just feels right. Once I'm home, I plan to start focusing on trying for a baby, and then preparing for the arrival of our baby, and being there for them as they grow up. Nathan, my husband, also recently got a promotion, which means he'll be in a better position to provide for us financially. This gives me peace of mind knowing that I can devote myself fully to our family without worrying about financial problems. So that's where things stand at the moment. I'll keep you all updated if anything major happens. Update. I'm here with an update that I never thought I would have to share. You were all right. My marriage, which I thought was on the mend, turned out to be a ticking time bomb, and it finally exploded. You all were absolutely right. My husband knew. He knew all this time, and he strung me along like an idiot. And he even made me quit my job. I feel so distraught right now, I don't even know what to say. It all happened yesterday, or I should say earlier yesterday. My mother-in-law invited us over for dinner. It was a seemingly innocent family gathering. We went there, and everything seemed fine at first. We were chatting up and catching up because my husband's parents didn't really live very close to us, so we didn't see them regularly except on family functions or events. My husband, in the calmest tone that sent shivers down my spine, casually mentioned that I had cheated on him with his boss. It was like a punch in the gut. I froze. Everyone froze. It was shocking, of course. That wasn't just something you blurted out. And the way my husband had calmly said it, as if he was just telling his mom about the weather. My father-in-law then asked him what he meant, and that was when my husband turned to me and told them to ask me. He told me that I was stupid if I thought I could just cheat on him with his boss of all people, and that I could get away with it. I tried to deny it at first, asking where he got such an idea. He didn't mince words. He told me that his boss was promiscuous and wasn't the kind of person to hide his wins. He said the boss had literally all but announced it to everyone in the office that he had slept with me, and that it was embarrassing having his coworkers come tell him what the boss had said. He said that at first he didn't want to believe the boss, and that he had come home that night, and after I had gone to bed, he had checked my phone, and that I had tons of messages, planning to meet up, blatantly flirting with him and even messaging him after I had slept with him. He said I was stupid, and I was even more stupid if I thought I would be able to get away with it. This was when I started crying because I felt so overwhelmed and shocked. I started crying because I genuinely didn't know what to do. He didn't yell, he didn't scream. He told me that we were getting a divorce and that he had just been waiting for a while till he was in a better place mentally. Then he apologized to his parents and he left. Mind you, we came in the same car, so that meant I was stranded without a ride. I was so embarrassed I hurried after him, but he just left me and drove off. I was too ashamed to ask anybody for a ride home, so I had to call an Uber. I felt so humiliated, ashamed, and lost. However, when I called the Uber and got home, our apartment was empty, bare of everything except my clothes. He had moved out while we were at his parents' house. But how had he been able to move out when we were both at his parents' house together? I had a breakdown right there. I sunk to the floor and cried uncontrollably. I've been trying to reach him, but he's not responding. He is not taking my calls or my texts. His friends are avoiding me too. They are also not responding to my calls or my texts. I'm left here alone, trying to make sense of everything. I don't know what to do or where to go from here. I had to spread some of my clothes and sleep on the bare floor because I was just too tired to even move or even leave the house. I never thought my life would unravel like this, but here I am, facing the consequences of my actions. This fallout from my marriage feels like a wrecked battlefield with no clear path forward. I guess you all can gloat and laugh now. Bring out the drums rolls. I can already hear the "I told you so" comments coming, and I'm just here wondering where to even start picking up the pieces. But I do seriously need some advice. What do I do? Where do I go from here? Is there any way to even salvage my marriage? How the fuck did he manage to make such a clean break while we were all together at his parents' house? It doesn't add up, and I'm sure his friends must have played a role in helping him pull off this well-teamed escape. I'm sure he must have been planning this for a while. And if there is no way to salvage my marriage and we do go to court, what am I going to get out of the marriage? We were saving up to buy a house, but we hadn't bought it yet because I was a bit slow on savings. Obviously, he earns way more than I do. The lease is in my name because I had rented it first and then he moved in with me. We didn't even bother getting his name added on the lease because we thought there was no need. But everything in the apartment belongs to him, and that was why he took it. When he had moved in, we lived together for years before we decided to throw away or give away much of our old stuff and replace them all with new stuff after my dad died. Nathan felt like it would be nice because cleaning and getting new stuff always made someone feel better. Like the TV, the refrigerator, the bed, all those shit. We replaced them and he had been the one to pay for them all because I didn't even have a job then. Like I said before, I was really struggling then. So everything that he took belongs to him. He even took my car. It is in his name, yes, and he has been the one making payments on it. But still, he took it. How did he take it? We have 2 cars. That means someone must have helped him drive the other. So yeah, that has all been what I've gone down. I'm honestly going to try and get something to eat right now because I am hungry, and I couldn't care less about my weight now. I'm probably going to come back here and update. And if you do have any helpful advice for me or something like that, I would really appreciate it if you could drop it down in the comments. And please, if you know you're going to comment something vile and wicked or come into my DMs to taunt and laugh and rub salt on my wounds, then please do not. I might swing back here to update as things unfold. And like I said before, if anyone has constructive advice or helpful insights, please do share them. But if it's just going to be negativity or mockery, I'd rather not engage with that right now. Update. Hey Reddit, it's been 2 days, and while not much has changed, there have been some developments I want to share with you all. First off, a huge thanks to everyone who gave me solid advice, especially about seeking therapy. I'm definitely going to do that once things settle down a bit. As for my job, well, let's just say I didn't leave on the best of terms. I pretty much gave my boss an indirect fuck you and a piece of my mind, so I doubt there's any chance of salvaging that job. Once I'm in a better place mentally, I'll start looking for a new one. A lot of you suggested letting go of the marriage and going for a divorce, and that's exactly what's happening. I tried to work things out, but Nathan isn't interested. He's fixated on the fact that I cheated and lied, conveniently forgetting his own scheming during that week. He made sure to leave in the absolute worst way because he wanted me to feel horrible. Seriously, who's the bigger jerk here? Nathan finally reached out, but there wasn't much to say. He claimed everything he took from the apartment was rightfully his since he bought it. Can't argue with that. But I did express my disappointment that he didn't give me a heads up before I quit my job. I tried to bait him into admitting he planned it all, because I was hoping it could serve as evidence in court, but he's playing it smart and denying everything in texts. He's hinted that I'll be served soon, probably divorce papers. My in-laws are radio silent. It's pretty obvious whose side they've taken. I haven't even told my own family yet because I'm still processing everything. Without Nathan's income, I can't afford the lease alone, so I'll have to find a roommate or find a new place altogether. I'm a mess right now, honestly confused and distraught. Nathan did also admit that his buddies helped him move out and clear the apartment while we were at his parents' place. That was like a punch to the gut, so his friends were part of this mess. My eating has gone off the rails. I'm stress eating like there's no tomorrow. I'm ignoring portion control completely. It's crazy because I am now blowing through my savings faster than I thought possible. Anyway, that's where things stand for now. I'll keep you updated if anything big happens. And to the nice folks out there, thanks a ton. To the haters and the ones screaming, "I told you so," seriously, just stop. You're not helping anyone. And to the ones DMing me and commenting shitty stuff, you have a place in hell waiting specially for you. Update. Hey Reddit, how are y'all doing? Almost 2 weeks now. I've been updating quite frequently because venting here feels therapeutic. Here's the rundown of what's happened in these 2 weeks. First off, I got served with the divorce papers. No surprises there, and I'm fine with it. There's not much to divide, so whatever Nathan's terms are, I'm just going along with it. It's becoming clear to me that Nathan was seriously manipulative and vindictive. Who in their right mind hides something like that for a week just to exact revenge? Only someone pretty twisted, someone like a psychopath. I reached out to my siblings, especially my elder sister, who advised me not to confess to Nathan in the first place. I also talked to my mom. They were shocked but understanding. They get that we all screw up sometimes. Money is becoming a concern, though. I do have savings, but if I take on the lease and rent by myself without a job in sight, I'll burn through it fast. Plus, being on my own means no one's around to guilt-trip me about my eating habits, which isn't helping my weight goals. I'm supposed to be losing weight, not gaining it. My sister suggested I break the lease and move back in with our mom. I talked to Mom, and she's okay with it. So I informed the landlord, gave notice, packed up my stuff, mostly clothes, called an Uber, and made the move to Mom's place. It's been about 3 days, and it's honestly a relief. Sure, I messed up and they let me know, but they also understand. Now I'll be heading to court soon, so I won't be updating during that time. I'm not sure if it's legal or not, but I'd rather not take any chances. I'll fill you all in once it's all wrapped up. Thanks for the supportive DMs, workout plans, and healthy food tips. It means a lot. Update. Hey Reddit, it's been ages, almost 4 months since my last update. Sorry for the delay. Life got hectic and I kind of forgot about this space. A lot has happened and I feel it's time to fill you in before I move on for good. This will likely be my final post here, as I'm ready to close this chapter and focus on the future. The negativity here has been overwhelming. There have been positive comments, yes, but the negative ones definitely overshadow the positive ones, and I don't want that toxicity in my life. So the divorce happened. There wasn't much to divide since we both had jobs and he contributed majorly to our expenses. No shared property or major assets. It was a straightforward split, but it still hit me emotionally. I had a quiet moment in the bathroom to cry for a bit and gather my strength. It kind of hurts that Nathan moved on so quick, but what can I say? Life goes on, I guess. It's hard to fathom how someone I've spent more than half of my life with could seemingly forget about our history and move on so rapidly like it never mattered. Despite the negative comments, I get it. I've accepted my mistakes and learned from them. Your negativity can't bring me down. I'm moving forward. I appreciate the support and well wishes from those who offered them. Thank you all. I wish you all the best in life, and I hope things turn around for me as well. I won't repeat the same mistakes. Update. Hey Reddit, it's been a while, and I know I said the last time would be my final update, but I genuinely promise this is going to be it. It's been about a month since I last checked in. I did mention deleting the app, but I didn't follow through. Instead, I randomly decided to come back and see what's been happening in the comments and DMs. The response has been overwhelming since this post blew up more than I expected. People kept asking for updates, and I've even seen snippets of my story on TikTok and Instagram, those narrated videos with Minecraft backgrounds. So here's what's been going on in my life. First off, I managed to shed a few pounds. It's not a drastic change, and I'm still overweight, but I'm glad I didn't gain weight and instead made progress. I had taken a break from the gym for a while, but I got back into it about a week ago, and I'm determined to stay consistent. It's tough, especially with stress eating creeping in, especially after everything with Nathan. I've also been considering therapy. I haven't booked an appointment yet, still searching for the right therapist, but it's something I'm actively looking into. On the job front, it's been challenging. I've been applying for various positions, but most seem to offer minimum wage, which I'm not keen on accepting given my qualifications and experience. I've been exploring call center jobs for now, but I'm committed to finding a better paying job and cutting ties with these lower paying options once I do. So this is genuinely my last update. I won't be able to keep coming back to share every detail of my life. Thanks to everyone for the support and interest. It's been quite a journey, and I'm optimistic about what lies ahead. Goodbye, and I hope you all have a good life.